welcome to Bridgerton Fancast. There is nothing we love more than grass.
Indeed.
I'm Michelle. You can find me at Musings on the socials, and I have not read any of the Bridgerton books past the first two.
And I'm Rita. I am at Annoying Rita on Instagram, and I have read all of the books too many times, yet somehow cannot remember most of what happened in Gregory's book.
Oh, dear. Well, this week we are going to be discussing episode 3. But before we begin, we would like to do a quick cringy beg that if you want to support our podcast in a non-monetary way, could you please consider giving us a rating and review? They help push us up the dreaded algorithm and help us find new listeners. So if you have a few minutes, give it a go. If you are operating a car as you are listening to this, then please, dear God, wait until you arrive at your destination, okay?
Please.
Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, let's begin, as always, with the recap.
Okay, so we begin episode 3 with horny disaster trademark Colin Bridgerton having quite an elaborate sex dream about Penelope. I mean, there's fog, there's wind machines, you need some Celine Dion singing in the background.
Yeah.
He wakes up in bed looking sweaty and slightly annoyed is how I would describe his expression.
Yes!
Downstairs.
That was perfect.
He was like, damn it, that was frustrating.
Yes.
Downstairs, the Bridgertons are Bridgertoning in the drawing room. Gregory has fallen off a roof trying to see a hot air balloon, and Violet is hounding Francesca with info about what exactly the Queen said to her. When Colin arrives, he's incredibly awkward and begins to stumble over his words when Hyacinth speaks of the kindness he has shown Penelope. He wishes he could show her something else.
No!
So it's fair to say Colin is flummoxed throughout the episode.
Yes.
At Buckingham House, Queen Charlotte has potential suitors laid out across the table like a general planning a military campaign. She is struggling to find someone rich, handsome, and of high enough rank for this season's sparkly sparkler, Francesca. Lady Danbury suggests Lord Debling, but Queen Charlotte thinks his passion for animal conservation, not conversation, Rita, that's Dr. Dolittle, animal conservation makes him a bore. We would beg to differ, but his card is thrown across the table and dismissed. Away with him.
Yes.
Meanwhile, at the Featheringtons, Philippa is alarmed to learn that her baby will actually be growing inside her.
Oh, sweet God.
Portia, who is still desperate for her to get knocked up, promises her the baby will be delivered by a golden stork, and she's stupid enough to maybe believe that.
Yeah.
Penelope pipes in after a week sequestered in her room to point out babies can be girls too. Not what her mother wants to hear. Get on board with the plan, Penelope. Varley enters to announce that Penelope has a visitor.
Dun, dun, dun. And no, it's not Colin Bridgerton.
Boo!
Begging for her hand. It's his rather less dashing younger sister who wants to apologize for the whole ruining her reputation thing. She promises she did not intentionally let the rumor slip, but Penelope tells her she would not hold it against her if she did. The exchange is quite pleasant, but when Penelope asks her to come in, Eloise refuses. They might not be enemies, but they are certainly no longer going to be besties. Penelope goes for a walk, and even a week later, she is the subject of a lot of scrutiny. She runs into Colin, just the person she needs to run into, given the circumstances.
I mean, he's stalking her at this point, I think we can agree.
Yeah. And they hide under a willow tree. The second thing she probably shouldn't be doing, to have a more private conversation and to no doubt hide the shame of that awful Colin wig, because it is awfuling, people.
More
on that later.
In wig talk.
Yes. Oof. Things between them are hella awkward.
Is it because of what happened between us?
No, but I assure you nothing of the kind will ever happen again.
Of course. And I apologise.
No, I apologise for asking.
I do not apologise.
You apologise?
Yes, but I... Yes.
Oh, sweet Lord. Penelope suggests they end their lessons and keep their distance so she can try and rescue her reputation and find a husband. Colin looks like he might throw up when she thanks him for his kindness and says if she is able to secure a husband, it will be thanks to him. God, just rub the salt in the wound. I mean, as far as I can tell, he has done nothing but make it harder for her to meet men, but they are in love and, delulu at this point. Time for another ton social event, and we find Lord Debling staring uncomfortably at the wall of someone who, similarly to Gaston, uses antlers in all of their decorating.
You gotta sing it. You gotta sing the line. I use antlers in all of my decorating. Yes.
That was very, very nice.
I know. Come on. Opera singer from season 1. Who? I don't remember her
name. Ironically, really, because he too is the hunted. The Ton Mamas declare him the season's most eligible lord. And so, of course, Lady Cowper decides that's exactly where Cressida should be aiming her cap, or gun, or, something. Cressida is, of course, skeptical about her compatibility with a man obsessed with birds, but her mother puts her foot down. She has had 3 seasons out now. Things are becoming desperate, and if she cannot find a husband, one will be found for her, which really pretty much jumpstarts her ass over towards Lord Debling.
Where was that threat in season 1? That would have cured so many problems. Okay, so Penelope arrives with her mother and attempts to go incognito by hiding in a corner. A classic Penelope move.
Mm-hmm.
The Bridgerton family are not long behind her, including Franny, who Lady Danbury approaches. She wants to know how her meddling worked out, and is delighted when she learns Franny is the season's hit. The Bridgerton drawing room is full every day. She advises her that the Queen is likely to give her an introduction to a highly ranked gentleman, just as she did with Daphne. Prince Friedrich, forever in my heart. But Violet reassures her she's under no pressure to actually marry that man. Lord knows Daphne didn't marry the prince, though she maybe should have. But Franny seems open to the idea.
I did wonder if there might be some kind of introduction from the Queen. And I'm inclined to think he shall be the best suitor for me.
Because it is easier?
Because I trust the Queen.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. The Monriches arrive to the soiree, and Alice causes quite the stir in her brand new dress.
Oh, she's looking hot.
Even the haughty mamas are impressed. They're greeted by Colin, who quickly learns they are now reading Whistledown. Everyone is. He disapproves, of course, but they assure him that they have found it to be quite educational, and unlike the rest of society, they approve of what he did for Penelope. They hope she finds a husband soon. We get another look of existential angst from Colin. He's like, yes, of course, that's exactly what I'm hoping for. Of course, yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Penelope is then, of course, approached by Lord Debling. They begin to snark about how much they're enjoying their evening. Deep sarcasm, obviously. And over the course of their snark, we learn that Lord Debling is the only man in the room to have not read Lady Whistledown. And as a result, she gets to explain her decision to enlist Colin reasonably to him. He praises her for stepping outside of the herd, see? Animal metaphor.
Yeah.
And seems completely charmed by her sharp wit and honesty. Obviously, Colin watches them flat from across the room and looks really upset because...
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's working.
Get used to it.
The plan is working. Let's see. Cressida is on another promenade with Eloise and confides that she has set her sights on Lord Debling. Eloise is baffled because it's so very clear that Cressida has nothing in common with a naturist. There's also the added problem of his obvious preference for Penelope. Cressida does not consider Penelope any real threat and begs Eloise for help in securing a man that is her choice and not her parents'. Eloise offers to lend her a few books.
Okay.
Oh, gosh. Over at the Featheringtons, brace yourself for some comic relief, because Varley has prepared a weird green tonic for the girls to drink that aids fertility. It goes down unexpectedly well, but then the girls have to head straight for the chamber pot to barf. Not sure gastroenteritis is going to help the cause. The Ton then heads to Hyde Park to witness a hot air balloon. Didn't we say that this was going to happen?
Yes, you did.
Anyway, let's see. And even the Queen, although she complains that she thought it would be bigger. Yeah, me too. Penelope sees Colin and they meet in the suites tent to have another clandestine conversation. She tells him about her hopes for Lord Debling. Colin asks if she has formed an attachment, and Penelope implies that although it is new, she does. She then bites into a Cinnabon and gets frosting on her mouth. So, of course, horny disaster Colin Bridgerton's brain immediately goes to the gutter. It's fair to say he is down bad.
Cold shower stat.
Oh, yes.
Across the lawn, Cressida is attempting to woo Lord Debling, and when he mentions how much he doesn't like his family, her eyes light up. Finally, something in common. Unfortunately for Cressida, he then spots Penelope and invites her over to join their conversation. And what follows is what I can only describe as a pissing contest for the affections of a man who seems just confused and a little scared. Suddenly, Penelope and Cressida love the outdoors. Can't get enough of the green grass.
Oh my God.
Benedict, who has been avoiding talking to that one girl since last week, and quite frankly I'm getting a bit bored of it, hides in a tent and finds himself in a lecture being given by Lord Hawkins on his brand new balloon. He bumps into a rather glamorous looking woman who chastises the men for poo-pooing the Hawkins balloon. She's excited about innovation and science, and Benedict goes full heart eyes emoji. I can tell by the enthusiasm in my voice that I love this scene. Back outside, Queen Charlotte introduces Francesca to Lord Samadani. I think that's how you pronounce his name, who has travelled all the way from Vienna to meet her. And things start off well. Back outside, Penelope is being thirsty AF.
I do as well. I much prefer the natural world to the unnatural one. There is nothing I love more than grass.
And why does she love it? Well, it's green, of course. And she is Irish. Colin watches this from afar, jealous, but gets briefly distracted by the hot air balloon flapping dangerously in the wind. Behind him, Mr. and Mrs. Dankworth are caught canoodling. Prudence shoves her husband away for propriety's sake, but his fool dislodges the rope, holding up the bloody balloon.
Of course. Colin jumps into action, trying to keep a hold of the thing, but it veers. Quiet. Slowly, it has to be said, towards Penelope, who instead of just walking out of the way like everyone around her, ends up trapped. She falls on the ground as the balloon threatens to lightly graze her. Oh no! Lord Debling throws himself on the ground beside her. I assume he's trying to help, but he doesn't really. It's in fact Colin and the other men of the Ton who managed to finally get the balloon away from our lead actress. I hope that explanation made sense. It certainly didn't make sense to watch. Cressida, who has witnessed this all, realizes that not enough attention is on her, so she fakes a twisted ankle to get Lord Debling to stop touching Penelope, and gentlemanly, he assists her to his seat. A classical cover of Sia's Cheap Thrills is playing. Must be time for a ball. This one is hosted by Lord and Lady Hankins of Shitty Balloon fame, and they are celebrating innovations by getting a bunch of poshos to do a quadrille in their front room. So very normal.
Yes.
The Bridgertons arrive, and while exiting their carriage, Eloise asks if Colin is still upset with her. Colin reassures her he is not, and to be honest, we saw no evidence of him ever being upset with her.
Weird.
Colin is apparently pensive, which is unusual for this golden retriever of a man. He must be down bad for Penelope. Violet drops her glove, but is aided by a very handsome stranger.
Michelle, you might just get your wish.
Oh, really?
Her gardens are blooming. Oh, kill me.
Yes.
Inside the ball, Cressida's mother lays down the law. Cressida needs to bag a husband's stat. Their father is unwilling to keep paying for her extravagant London seasons. If she doesn't act immediately, she might be forced to do something truly horrendous, like rewear a dress. She spots Penelope heading towards Lord Debling and races her across the room, stealing him away at the last moment. Elsewhere, Franny is once again speaking with Lord Samadani, who tells her they have the greatest thing in common. It seems he also comes from a family of 8 children. At first, Franny is delighted to find a kindred spirit, but it soon becomes obvious that he has a rather more positive perspective on the family dynamic, and even wants a large family of his own. Franny looks horrified at the thought of having to give birth 8 times and bounces.
Smart girl.
We approve. Violet, once again, bumps into the handsome stranger man, and he is quite obviously flirting with her, which is cool, except that it turns out he is Lady Danbury's brother, Marcus, the unwanted house guest about whom she's been complaining all episode. She interrupts their flirting with the world's best awkward face as she realises that things have once again gotten incestuous. Fuck me.
Honestly, yes. Outside, Francesca is taking a break from the ball when she is interrupted.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Forgive me, I was simply...
In need of some quiet. I've been in search of it all night. Perhaps we can enjoy the silence together.
After a few moments of comfortable silence, the two look over at each other and smile. A ship is born! Climb on aboard, people.
I'm the captain. Let's go.
Yeah. Back inside, Benedict has once again got himself into an irrelevant side plot with a woman. This one is called Lady Tilly Arnold. She is a glamorous widow, and for some bizarre reason, she wants to fuck with Benedict, but, not marry him. They dance together. I tried to muster up a fuck to give, but I could not. Elsewhere, Will is being told by a member of the Ton that he cannot continue to work and be a member of society, which is so fucking obvious. He can't truly have expected to socialize with the same people he pours drinks for. Can he? He's a silly man.
He's very handsome, but I think the biceps have gotten all the oxygen because it's not going to his brain.
Yeah, or we've got enough evidence of traumatic brain injury.
That's a good
having
point.
Taken place with the man for him not to clue up on this one.
Yep. Back to Penelope, who has watched Cressida monopolise Lord Debling all night long and is feeling pretty down again. But she makes eye contact with Colin, who is, again, surrounded by groupies. He says that courage is within us all, as long as we are honest with ourselves and about our feelings. It is possible to do anything, which is a weird thing to say about catching a runaway hot air balloon to a bunch of teenage girls, but it's very rousing for Penelope. So good on you, Colin. She womans up and approaches Lord Debling. He should really take some of his advice, but whatever.
Yeah,
she
real.
finally admits to Lord Debling that she is not a rabid grass fangirl, but that she has been lying to him unconvincingly. She's not someone who loves nature. She is a girl who loves being indoors, reading a book, watching birds from the safe vantage of a windowsill, and girl, I've never felt more seen. Indoors, indoors, indoors.
Yes.
Anyway, Lord Debling asks how many yous there are and where she hides them all. And that is a really fucking insightful comment from a man, an actual man. I gasped. I was impressed. I think I love this man. Anywho, Lord Debling explains he does not want to marry a mirror image of himself, but would like a wife that knows themselves and embraces their own peculiarities. Again, where can I find him? Is he on Amazon? He then offers the lemonade he was supposed to be getting for Cressida. Ice cold.
Nice!
Cressida watches this from across the room and looks forlorn. Eloise tries to comfort her and suggests that a diet of just vegetables would not suit her.
Colin bumps into his mother and asks her what she hopes Francesca will find in a marriage. She responds with cliches about passion and excitement. He's confused. She has always said that she believed the best foundation for great love was friendship. Colin is totally fishing. She tells him she does, and she knew the feelings were reciprocated because he gathered the courage to
her
ask.
Father. I fucked that up.
Colin immediately looks over at Penelope, and Violet pieces the obvious together. And from the look on her face, she definitely approves. The string quartet strike up a cover of Happier Than Ever. As Colin approaches Penelope, she tries to be friendly, but he just stares at her intently. She asks if he is okay. He says he needs to ask her a question, then says nothing for a good 10 seconds. It's very bizarre behavior, and Penelope looks a little worried, and rightly so. They are interrupted by Lord Debling, who asks Penelope to dance. She agrees, and they take the floor as Colin watches on. Across the floor, Philippa feels sick and runs out of the room. Portia, who has been watching Penelope dance in excitement, then gets the double win of suspecting one of her girls is finally pregnant. Everything is once again coming up, Portia! We cut back to Colin, who watches the entire dance like a man who's just been kicked in the balls. The end.
Okay, so I have wrote our first note for discussion is Colin frustration, because I had a lot of rage in the last few minutes of the episode.
Oh.
Just so much Colin rage. Like, what is this? This man that won't shut up with all these other girls. As soon as he's around Penelope, he's like, I love it. I hate it. I wanted to punch him in the face. Like, now is the time to act. Not when a hot air balloon is slowly creeping towards her. Now.
Yeah, that's like, get to stepping, son. This boy was a hot mess through this entire episode. But it was, I will have to say, it was kind of delightful watching him
be jealous. I loved it.
Yeah. I was digging that. Mm-hmm.
I think like my one frustration is also like I rewatched this episode 3 times. So the bit where it's like they kept going, oh, it's been a week. It's been a week. He had a whole fucking week. What have you been doing, Colin? What have you just having horny dreams every day and then deciding not to speak to her? What have you been doing with your time, Colin? You don't have a job.
No.
And I think like his motivations feel more opaque than they should do. Because he has no problems communicating with her before, and then suddenly it's like, now I can't speak. I need them to make me understand.
Because they kissed and stuff. It makes everything weird.
I think I just fundamentally don't understand friends to lovers, because I'm always just like, just kiss. Fuck off. You know, just say how you feel. I don't understand this whole like, oh, I don't know if I can tell them. Like, I'm just not one of those people. So, like, my frustration is also with the trope. I'm just like, shit, get off the pot, Colin. Come on.
Well, given that we're going to be going into the last of the first part of the series very soon, I hope.
Within a few hours, hopefully.
Yes. Hopefully we will see some movement on that.
I want him to use his words. I think is always my frustration with male characters. I'm like, fucking say it. Just, you know?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Just use your words. You're a big boy. You know you're a writer, apparently. So, like, come on.
So
Write her a letter or something.
Yeah, it's like, you do have a way with words, so
use them.
Pick out a few.
And
pick
also,
out a few to use
his, like, rousing speech to Penelope about just being brave, of being yourself. And then when he was in the moment, did he fucking say anything? No, because we still got another episode of tension that we have to drag out. I guess, like, that's also another thing. Like, it wouldn't have been that hard for the writers to, like, maybe have him express that now he's around her, he can't be brave, he's suddenly cautious. There needs to be, like, maybe next episode for them to explain that, because I sometimes feel like Colin is completely underwritten. Penelope is much more developed compared to
definitely.
him.
I would agree. You know, I mean, you know, we've seen how they have handled his character in the last couple seasons, and it's always been kind of...
Well, he's been like 7 different characters, hasn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, so I'm hoping that we will get some good, solid character development. Or am I
more
just
than just
fooling
horniness?
myself?
Like,
yes, yeah. Although I do love how it seems like he's like angry at himself. And that is represented so well on screen. You know, he's just like
annoyed.
Dude,
like
he's just annoyed. Yes.
It's a different horniness to, like, Anthony. When he was horny, he was like really deeply depressed about it. He was a sad horny. Colin seems a little angry.
Yeah, he's just like, what the hell?
He's like,
what the hell?
What's up with my timing? Like, he's frustrated. I think he's frustrated with himself. He's like, I'm really horny, but she's literally, I've been rooting for her to get with someone else. Now it's happening. What have I done?
I have hoisted myself on my own petard.
There's a lot of, like, inner rage that needs to come out.
Yes. Oh, gosh. So, other than that, what did you think of the episode? Oh, dear.
It's when I felt like mixed bag, because there were a lot of really great moments. But I think parts of the episode fell majorly flat. Most obvious problem was the quote-unquote balloon, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
So many different problems with that.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that, you know, we have recently seen a show that involves a balloon rescue that was much more dynamic than what we saw in this episode. And by much more, I mean, you know, it wasn't scintillating by any stretch of the imagination, but it was much more believable.
It looked like a balloon.
Much more believable.
So, you know, already there are many, I think, problems with even just the premise of them getting excited about a hot air balloon. This is a technology that is like 40-something years old, okay? Yeah. It's not new. In Sanditon, there was at least some allure of, like, it's a seaside town, it's small, these people probably aren't as wealthy as the Ton. You know, the Queen of fucking England is not going to be like, oh my God, a hot air balloon.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
She's not, you know, they tried to put it as like, oh, it's this new version of a hot air balloon. Like, maybe. But like, I don't really buy that Charlotte would give a shit. Maybe George, but Charlotte?
Yeah, not
also,
much.
The balloon itself was way too small to carry the weight of a man, like proportionally.
Yes.
And they kept trying to make jokes about, oh, it's so small. That does not justify this. You have the money. You have the money. Come on. You
can make this more believable.
Come on.
Seriously.
I mean, and that's before we even get to the fact that it was the world's slowest runaway balloon. It was so slow.
No,
it was like come back. Everyone just moving out of the way, making Penelope fall over her own feet like a dumbass, so that she can be a damsel in distress. For again, a balloon that's lightly gonna graze her.
Yeah.
And like the
And,
music was so dramatic.
Yeah, it was just really, it was a reach.
And it was a
It
really
was, it was a
long
reach.
scene. It was a long scene. If they had just made the thing shorter, maybe they could have gotten away with some of the tension they were building, but they were making that balloon move in slow motion.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it did not work for me.
I don't think it worked for anyone. I made that Sanditon comparison video, which I think kind of threw petrol on the flames of the angry Sanditon fans. Sorry.
Oh no!
Some of them were like,
angry.
They stole this idea. For the record, I don't think that Bridgerton's copying. If they did, they would have done a better job, quite frankly.
Yeah. And honestly, you don't have anything to be mad about because y'all did so much better than Bridgerton. So, we know which one's superior.
It is the love of our life, Arthur Parker.
Sweet Arthur.
So, the whole hot air balloon thing is a bit of a romance novel trope. I associate it most with Georgette Heyer novel. There's this one called Frederica, which, it's so good. Everyone, listen to it on Audible. It's really good. There's like a whole, one of her, Frederica's younger brother breaks his arm trying to climb on the hot air balloon. So I thought that was kind of maybe a reference in, we had little Gregory with his
his arm in a sling.
Yeah. And I think I look at Georgette Heyer as the founder of Regency romance novels, and I think Bridgerton and Sanditon have borrowed heavily from her work. And you got to remember that a lot of these tropes she originated. They're both being inspired from the same source, so of course there'll be similar things.
Yeah.
I think I sort of accidentally started some kind of war between Bridgerton and Sanditon.
Oh, no!
It's not my intention. I think it's very obvious to say Sanditon was better. Let's calm down.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Not triangles.
Or in this case, a square. Because I don't count Cressida out quite yet. I think that, that is
really,
still
though?
going to... No, I think that she could wind up... Well, I mean, in the end, she could wind up stumbling into something with Lord Cowper once, Paulin gets off to the races.
I hope not. They have nothing in common. I'm sorry.
I know. I
He
really hope
deserves
that
the
doesn't
world.
happen.
Maybe me. Can he get with me? How do we make that happen?
Well, apparently he's dating the actress that plays Philippa.
Oh,
no.
Prudence.
Prudence.
He's dating Bessie. Yeah.
Yes. So, anyhow, and
I'm in the character. I don't know anything about that man. I doubt he's really a vegan. I don't know him. I meant, excuse me,
but
he's a
doing
lord,
and he
likes to leave his estate for months at a time. Leave me in charge. Alone in the country. Have fun.
Yes.
Hope it's not dangerous.
Don't worry about a thing. Bye.
Let me just enjoy all this money and freedom.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And, when you think about it, he really would be an ideal husband for Penelope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Girl.
He doesn't read Whistle. Yeah. He doesn't read Whistledown.
He's gone
He's
for
wanting
ages.
someone. Yeah. Yeah. He's wanting to marry someone who is kind of good on their own and kind of chill with their own peculiarities.
Doesn't ask questions. Seems to think...
Yeah, he's like the perfect little husband tied up in a bow.
I was going to say, if I was her friend, I'd say, Penelope, I know you fancy Colin, but Lord Debling, bit more of a sensible choice, babes. If you want to keep being Whistledown, don't marry Colin. You can't. Yeah. Obviously, she's going to marry Colin.
Of course.
Of course. But, in real life, the advice would be, if you want to keep living your life the way you have been... Get with the man who's not really bothered about Whistledown. Not the man who is aiming to track her down and ruin her life.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I think I know which column I would pick.
Exactly.
Yeah. And, he's kind of tasty. He's a tasty looking like a little snacky.
And there are moments where I think he's very insightful in a way that Colin just does. Colin can't see Penelope clearly because he's known her too long.
Yeah.
And he's got these ideas of her, like when he first met her when she was basically a child. She's an innocent, lovely little sweet pea. Yes. And then, but Lord Debling will kind of look at her occasionally and be like, "You're complicated. You're mysterious. You've got facets that I don't think Colin's really aware of all those different parts of her yet. He might come to once he actually gets to know her a bit better outside of his dear little friend Penelope.
Yeah.
But I feel like that Lord Debling is like a man, and that's why he's so hard.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the trope coming back though? Another love triangle. Are you not sick of fucking love triangles?
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of, especially since last season was
season 1.
So very, yeah, but...
Okay, I want to remind you at the end of the episode where Daphne walks down the fucking flight of stairs being like, I'm going to get with the prince now. And then she dances with the prince in front of Simon. And then Simon does his, I'm so sad. I've pushed the girl I like into the arms of another man face. End of the episode. Is that not exactly what we fucking got in at the end of episode 3? Exactly the same, except there weren't stairs.
Yeah, pretty much. I think where I was going with that was that last season was... The love triangle was so omnipresent through the entire series until, we get to the last couple of episodes, after the wedding.
I felt, that's episodes, apart from episode 7 and 8. Yeah, that's only 2 episodes, Rita, shut up. Yeah.
So, it's like we were stuck in that love triangle through the entire season, and by a certain point I know I was going, okay, it's got to end here. Okay, now it's got to end here. It's got to end here. And I when it didn't end before the wedding, I was just like,
it technically did end before the wedding. It ended before they said I do.
I mean, before the day of the wedding.
It ended at the wedding.
Yeah, it ended at the wedding. I was just like, okay, what the actual, how are they going to do this? We don't have that much time left. That was bad. So
obviously nobody's marrying Lord Debling. That it's not going to go that far. But it's still a reliance on a love triangle as conflict, which they do every season.
Yes. I think just the fact that we were beaten over the head with it last season made me forget that we actually had a love triangle in the first season. Because it was like you mentioned, oh, right, the prince. Oh, yeah, okay. Love triangle, but lasted for an episode.
I think it was the end of episode 3 as well, of Daphne dancing with the wrong man, and then it's Penelope's dancing with the wrong man. I'm like, I know it's a trope, but it's become they're relying too heavily on their formulas. I think. Yeah. Because if I'm seeing this in season 4, I'm going to not do anything. I'm just going to complain on this podcast. Will I stop watching? No.
I wonder, given that we all know that they wound up having to take a halt in filming season 3 in order to kind of deal with some of the challenges that they were having.
You mean their own writing choices?
Yeah. But they're kind of reaching into the writing bag that they've had for previous episodes to try and
deal with
make something work. For this, because they let the cat out of the bag too damn soon.
I think the only way they can get out of this is having the courtship end sooner rather than later. Because like you just got to get these two motherfuckers together and then get to the Lady Whistledown conflict, because we can't keep doing this. I feel like they've dragged it out as long as possible, and they're like, oh well, how do we keep them apart? I know, another dude.
Yeah.
The writing can be the acting is doing incredible work to try and like compensate for some of the writing choices. It's not great. It's
I would agree with you there.
I just no love triangle season 4. Can we get that on a t-shirt?
Please, no.
Okay, storylines. There's like 17, so let's go. Oh, I really loved all the pollen scenes. This is exactly what I expected in terms of we're hitting all the tropes and cliches, but it was fun. What about you?
I love these two actors together, and the chemistry that they have. I think that it's really been enjoyable. Obviously, I wish that there was more of it because I think they're so cute. But giving us jealous Colin really helped in that regard. Yeah.
It was fun. I texted you like, is it bad that I enjoy this?
And my response was, no, not at all. It's not bad at all. It's like, we needed this. We needed this for the culture.
We did.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where they're going to go with this. And you know something? I'm really glad that we are at this stage of the podcast now, so that we don't have that much longer to wait until the second half of this season drops. Because if we had done this right when it came out and had gone through and binged all of it, it would be 4 weeks of it would be 4 weeks of frustration. I'm telling you.
Once a week.
Yes.
That's how the cool kids do it, and it works for us. And like we're dropping these episodes perfectly in time that by when we've recorded our episode 4, that's when we can watch episode 5.
Yeah. Yep. So.
For once, this is working for us. Usually we're like crying and sobbing, and now we're like, this is fine. We're okay. It's fine. Yep. Everyone else is crying about waiting 4 weeks. We're fine. I just want to mention my love for Lord Doubling. I know I've gone thirsty already, but again, I think he's the most mature suitor we've ever had on the show. He beats Simon, he beats Anthony, Colin, no contest. I think this is a man who is actually interested in getting to know his potential wives in a meaningful way. He's not just like he's thoughtful, he's kind, he listens when people talk, he doesn't eat meat, he's just the best.
Although I am definitely a carnivore.
But he's not going to make you do it. He just likes animals. Think of all the dogs you could bring home.
Oh, I know.
Cat sanctuary. Oh, I found this one-eyed donkey. He'd be like, okay. I'm telling you.
I mean, I think my favorite scene of him, and I mean, there were many, but the scene where he is just staring up at the wall.
Exactly. And then
that shot that they get of him of just looking up at the wall, and he's just like, oh no.
It's gross. He's the only one, like everyone else is ignoring the absolute atrocity that is on the wall, and he's like, this is just a graveyard of heads. I love that for him. And the fact that he is able to see outside of society's conventions is a huge positive.
Yeah.
Can we build a shrine to him?
He's pretty damn perfect.
He's gonna, and my prediction is that I think he's gonna take the rejection from Penelope quite well. I think he'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I do too. As we know that the rejected suitors on this show seem to make out pretty well, since our headcanon has
Prince Friedrich. Yeah. Happy little clams. German babies.
Oh gosh. So, but yeah, he is definitely someone that one could stan. He's a green flag if there ever was one.
We love green.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so Penelope, Eloise, and Cressida.
Oh my gosh.
I want to point out that once again, Eloise is kind of a bad friend.
Yup. Oh yeah.
Her whole attitude to the whole Lord Debling thing was sort of like, I know this is something you really want, but it's getting in the way of my enjoyment of my evening. So can you stop trying to seek a husband? It's really annoying to me.
Yeah, I think that, we're seeing that, Eloise, and some of the things that Eloise is experiencing with this estrangement with Penelope is, we're seeing her encounter some significant life lessons
is she
along the
learning
way.
anything is the question, though.
Is she learning anything?
At the end of the episode, like, what you needed from Eloise was to realise that, Cressida was not being frivolous in trying to find a husband. There was some real jeopardy at stake for her. She desperately needs to find a husband. Her family situation is not great. And she wants some agency in the choice of her husband, which is something I think everybody deserves to have. Eloise had zero engagement with anything under the surface level of, yeah, but this guy likes birds. Like, that's all she was really bringing to the table. There was no depth to her empathy for her friend who's maybe going through a bit of a challenging situation. She was just like annoyed that she had to talk to other people during the evening, not really engaged in trying to help her with her situation.
Yeah. I know that we have talked shit about Cressida's character for, the last 2 seasons. I admit I am enjoying seeing this other side of Cressida, some of the things and the things that have helped to make her who she is. I'm not finding her to be more likable than before, but there's much more of a multi-dimensional aspect coming out in her character, and I'm enjoying that.
She's maybe not likable, but she's interesting in a way, and she has more complexity in a way than I would say Eloise is capable of showing, because all their interactions help flesh out her character, while Eloise just remains kind of one-dimensional.
Yeah.
As a character, I think on purpose. I now know the writers are aware of all these character flaws and they're writing them into her as a character, but I'm not convinced she's learning, and that's the main problem. I'm like, okay, at the end of the episode she should have been like, oh, I'm sorry. She didn't seem sad for Cressida at all. There was no empathy there. Yeah, that's your friend. She's upset, even if you don't want her to get with Lord Debling.
I mean, there's a time and place for snark, and for, kind of that witty sarcasm that she is so good at. But, read the room. Read the room, sweetie.
That wasn't it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... so many people love Eloise. And I can see that there are aspects of her character that are quite, she's funny, she says things that make me laugh. But as a person, I would not want to be her friend.
Yeah.
I think she's...
I wouldn't either. She's got quite a bit of maturing that she needs to do.
It's almost like psychopathy. Not to be dramatic, but there is a lack of empathy that runs bone deep with her that worries me.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't you put yourself in other people's positions and understand their emotions, that they don't have the same life that you do? When she's like, you have to marry someone this season? Why don't you just not? It's like, because that's not how the life is for people in the town. Like,
it's not.
She doesn't have your family.
It's not. Everyone does not have the life that you do, and you are fortunate in that you have more freedom to not be under the same amount of pressure. I mean, hell, she's got Franny, who is the focus of attention this season, so that, you know, she doesn't...
Franny nearly crippled by the weight of it, by the way.
Exactly. So, you know, Eloise doesn't have to worry about Violet being all up in her grill about suitors and stuff. So...
And she thinks that Violet is doing that for lots of reasons. One of them is only her happiness in a romantic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But there's lots of like societal pressure for women to get married and for the security, and like her brothers should not be expected to financially pay for her for the rest of her existence. Like, she doesn't think.
Yeah.
For someone who is so critical of society, she doesn't really seem to understand how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point.
Baffling about Eloise.
It'll be interesting to see how things develop once Paulin takes flight.
I cannot wait to see her reaction.
Oh my god, it's going to be epic.
Saying I have just trashed Eloise, but I did really like the Penelope and Eloise scene. I thought it was quite mature of her to apologise.
Yes.
I also liked that she was able to put up a boundary and say, like, hey, I'm not going to be a bitch to you and I'm going to apologise, but we're still not friends. Like, we're not... I thought that was good. That was quote-unquote mature for her. I still find her inability... I find that confusing. So she's able to sympathise with Penelope, but maybe not all the time. It's like when she chooses to... Again, I don't really know how empathy and Eloise works.
Yeah.
I'm just glad when it occasionally happens.
Yes, it's nice to see. Let's see. So, Miss Portia, she had a good week, we think. Maybe.
Do you think Philippa's pregnant?
I do.
She finally learned what sex was, so...
Yes. and having done so, she's all on board. But yeah, I think she is, especially after, you know, we have the setup of the terrifyingly green goo that they had to drink
I mean,
earlier
you say
in the
that,
episode.
but I love green smoothies. I have one like
Really?
3 or 4 times a week. Yeah.
Oof.
I love spinach and drinks, man.
Oof.
That
Oof.
fibre. Give me that fibre.
Oof.
Apples are green.
Well, apples are fine, but the spinach aspect, I can't
You can't
get into
taste
that.
the spinach.
Really?
It's just, like, I'm not really like a big fruit eater, so I love a smoothie because I can get all of my fruit. I don't know why we're talking about this on the podcast, but I like a smoothie because you can get all all the daily vitamins and the fruit you need in like one go. So you know, that's my pro tip to all of our listeners: have a smoothie.
You can have
it
my.
doesn't have to be
You
green.
can have my lifetime supply or allotment of spinach. But I don't think there's any doubt that Philippa will be. Of course, if it had to be one of the two, it would be the one that had no idea that she would be carrying the baby.
She's going to be so hilarious as a pregnant woman. I'm so excited for her.
Oh my gosh.
I bet you she hasn't had like a period in 3 weeks, or not 3 weeks, 3 months, and she hasn't even clocked.
She hasn't even understood what that means.
No.
Oh, such a sweet little summer child.
Good for her.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Portia. I hope the baby is a girl.
I think the baby is definitely going to be a girl, because I think that the boy is going to wind up being from Penelope and Colin's marriage, which is just going to chap everyone's ass.
Portia's going to love it. She's going to be like, yes. I can't wait to see Portia's reaction to... If Colin and Penelope ever dance together, Portia's just going to be like...
She's not going to know what to do with herself. She's going to go, oh my God!
Portia has always wanted to be a Bridgerton.
Yes.
It's going to be the best day of her life. I hope that they have a daughter, and I hope that it's a P name. Let's keep this Kardashian P thing going.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
What other P names are there? Like,
let's see. Pamela.
This doesn't seem very Regency.
Patricia. Patricia.
Pauline. No.
Paulette.
This is all giving like 1950s housewife, isn't it?
Maybe. I don't know.
I actually really like the name Prudence. That's my
confession.
confession.
I think that's a lovely name too. Prudy.
Beatles song. You want to have at least one Beatles song you can sing at your baby.
Yes. So Prudence would be great. I don't know any others. Guys, send us your P names for babies.
Name that baby.
Yes. And we should for Paulin, let's think of some boy names too. I think that would be fun too.
I'm not into naming babies for people who aren't gonna like name their. It's not gonna be a fun name, is it? I bet you it's gonna be like a cheese name for Philippa. He loves cheese.
Yes.
Can you believe it? Little baby Brie. Oh my god, Brie would be they could name her Bridget. And then they call her
Brie. Oh, how adorable.
Headcanon accepted.
Yeah.
Okay. The Queen meddling.
Ay. She just needs to stop.
Understand.
She has her own family to meddle with.
She has like 55 kids that she needs to get married off.
Exactly. Like, focus on them.
I thought that was the whole point of Queen Charlotte. And then they're like, no, she's finding a sparkler.
Yay, a sparkler. Woohoo.
I think, like, even Lady Danbury seemed a bit bored by it as well. She was just like, well, we're doing this again.
Yeah, seriously. It's like, okay, do we need to do more of this plotting?
None of them are ever hits. She's never been successful. Why does she keep thinking she needs to help people? What do you think about her choice?
I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was ridiculous.
Fine.
I mean,
he was okay.
It's like, okay, awesome, but, maybe try thinking about Francesca, and the fact that, she comes from a large family.
She has no idea what Francesca is like as a person or what she's interested in or like anything. That's not the reason. Nobody gets married to find somebody, or nobody in the ton gets married to find somebody that's like their emotional, intellectual equal. That's not how you find matches in the ton, is it? It's like, who's the hottest, richest, most titled man? Get him involved.
Well, I just...
He wasn't even that hot, though, to be honest. Like, he's no Prince Friedrich.
No, not at all.
He seems nice. Like, there's no problems with him. He's just like, yeah, he wants 8 kids and that's too many.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Like, she was fine until he said that.
Yeah, I mean, nice swing, Queen. But,
some ladies love that shit. It's not for us.
That's true.
He's fine.
Yeah.
Wasn't feeling it. I think what worries me more is that Franny feels like she has to, because she said like, oh, well, I'm just going to marry whoever the Queen says.
Because I trust the Queen.
No, it's because you...
I don't believe you. I don't believe you when you say that. It's because you just want to get it over with. Right? Yeah, you just want to get it over with.
Because being the sparkler is a horrible situation for you that was thrust upon you by Lady Danbury.
Now we got to see her encounter someone out in the garden. That was delicious. I love the way that happened, and just, well, shall we enjoy the quiet together? Like, oh.
That was incredible. Like,
yes.
Incredible. Like, I got legit butterflies.
Yeah, that was
like the
really
most like
sweet.
sweepingly romantic thing I have seen all season. Sorry, Pollen fans, but that kicked everything else out of the water.
Oh, it was just
so sweet,
so lovely, and just what you would wish for. Any friend or
friend.
anyone, yeah, you that with this being your favorite character, this absolutely is what you would want for your favorite character. In this would be to just organically meet someone and have them be.
I mean, Violet would have an absolute field day. Violet, if she had known this would happen, she'd be like,
oh my gosh,
Frenny,
yes.
You're marrying him immediately.
Yes. Queen of the Swoon, absolutely. I think that's, I can't wait to see where that goes. I really, really can't. And Rita's just like sitting there smiling with this, I know something you don't know, smile on her face.
Well, I know his name. That's basically it.
Oh gosh! So
but he shall be mysterious garden man until next week, probably. Yeah. I was just my swoon for the episode. That was my swoon for the episode. It was just like, oh god, this is delicious. When I think back on, like, I know this is Pollen's season, but like that was clearly the most romantic thing that's happened so far. I'm like, you're gonna have to pull something out of the bag in episode 4. I'm sure. Yeah.
Although, as much as we, I talked about how, the whole practice on me thing, wound up
that was romantic.
Happening. That was when, she was talking about his eyes, and I was just completely fell into the TV as I was watching it, because it was like, oh God, these guys are good.
I think it's like harder when it's friends to lovers to have these like romance, like this is like a weird criteria, but a romance is different from like they have sexual tension, they have really cute like friendship scenes, they have like everything but the kind of excitement that you can only get from a stranger because they know each other too well, and they've had all of those. I think like there's something about like it being someone you don't know and the excitement of getting to know them that you can't get from this ship.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh gosh.
So it's nice that we have like this other thing also happening to subsidize the romance and get some of the
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, we in other parts of the garden, we have Violet, whose garden is back in bloom, baby.
Stop.
Back in bloom.
We don't have time for this. We don't have time for this nonsense. Keep your garden under construction.
Oh dear.
I don't care how attractive that man is. No, put him away, Violet. We're trying to get your daughter off married and your son. We don't have time for a side romance.
Well, this can be something that goes on for like a season or two.
Me and Lady Danbury both agree that would be inappropriate. No. So inappropriate.
Oh, well, it's
people.
It is problematic that
that are not related to your friends.
It's problematic since, we know that there's a rather difficult history with Violet and the
his sister fucked her dad.
Yeah.
Meet someone else, Violet. This ain't the one. I mean, I feel like it's probably going to be the one because they've introduced it now, so it's going to happen, but fuck it.
Yeah. But, it's...
Worth it just to see Lady Danbury's face. Lady Danbury was feeling what I was feeling.
Oh, yeah. That... I can't wait for us to get more into that. Yeah. And I would like to know what it is about him that makes her not happy to see him.
What, Marcus?
Yeah.
Well, nobody likes their brother, I think is the... You're a grown woman with your independence and then your brother shows up. You're going to be like, oh, fuck off.
Oh, God.
I bet you he's a player.
That wouldn't surprise me.
But they, it's, Violet's not looking for a man to settle down with, is she? So, that might be what she wants.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. The bad thing is that,
although if she does get married, she'll move out of the house. Oh, God.
Yeah, but then we won't get Anthony and Kate in the background.
That's true.
We want everyone in the house together. So Violet, you are not allowed to move in with your new fancy boy.
Just set that aside, Mama. Set that aside for right now.
Speaking of things I'm not interested in.
Oh,
Benedict
dear. Benedict.
Love interest.
Uh-huh.
Do we have a lot to say
and your
about
notes,
this?
In your note, you say his 17th love interest. Yeah, that's about right.
That's what it feels like.
I really, I'm not interested in this at all.
I know I wrote it down once, but I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'm not interested in this. It's just, taking up screen time that would be better utilized for one of the other storylines that they have going on right now.
I'm tired of watching Benedict pull women that are out of his league. Quite frankly, compared to him, I know everyone loves Benedict, but he's a bit of a loser. He just sort of hangs around with his family, wasting his time not doing much. But then all these really accomplished, interesting women with businesses or art careers, or I don't know what this is, but she seems cool. And they're all like, this guy who's got nothing going on, he's the one for me.
Well, I'm guessing that they're seeing him more as just a little bit of entertainment than any kind of potential spouse. Maybe Madame Delacroix.
Fair enough.
At one level, but
she's a businesswoman. She don't give no shit.
But they're seeing him as a little tasty morsel to play with, and then toss aside and move on.
Okay, fair enough. But also, I don't need to see that.
No,
as well.
No.
I wonder. I am obviously not a Benedict fan, but they do exist. If I were them, I would be really fucking pissed.
Oh yeah,
this is
me
some
too.
Real bullshit.
Yeah, me too. It's not developing his character at all. Besides, giving him the, oh yeah, Benedict, he's the little playboy.
People like him, so let's give him some screen time, but not in a way that develops his character in any substantial way, or that would move him along in his life in any substantial way. So we'll give him a little bit of plot time to keep you happy and tide it over, because we haven't given you the season we promised you.
And we're not really sure when that's going to take place.
It's probably never. But here, have another love interest that's not the one from his book. Enjoy!
Yes.
If I was a Benedict fan, I would be so fucking angry.
Yeah. And
as a non-Benedict fan, I'm just a bit bored.
Well, it's okay, there's other things that we can be discussing and seeing and, that kind of thing. But, we're using up a bunch of screen time with him.
To do something he's done 3 times. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we've been
assume he's fucking off screen. We don't need to see it.
No, and this all kind of comes to an interesting question that you've posed is, are there too many storylines? My response would be yes.
Unquestionably.
My response would be yes. Yeah. That there is so much.
I would argue that the main problem right now is they've underwritten Colin.
Mm-hmm.
And if they had used some of their energies in trying to beef up his characterization and less time spent giving Benedict another love interest, the main episode would have been slightly better.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have saved us from the balloon incident, but...
Oh, but yeah, we need, given that we only have 8 episodes, they really should work to make this show as crisp as possible. And, right now I feel like I am lost in a, one of those
sea of storylines, just a sea.
Yes.
I felt like, obviously there were some major problems with season 1, but that was a much more self-contained, better storyline distribution season. There was a real emphasis on the main love story that we have not seen replicated in season 2 and season 3. They're like, oh, you like this side character? Oh, you like this side character? Let's give them all the storyline. And it's like, no.
It's like, no, thank you. Let's get back to the main characters, please. Thank you.
The whole point of this is it's a love story.
Mm-hmm.
Not a Benedict side quest / Violet Hornfest situation. Like, we don't need that.
Oh, God.
We don't need it. Don't give it to us.
There are better things to do.
That's
with the
without
time.
we haven't even mentioned the Mondriches of it all, do you?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, we skipped the Mondriches for this week. I mean...
Because, what's the fucking point?
Yeah. They're lovely. She looked amazing at the ball. Holy crap. But, and the whole, well, now you're a member of the Ton. You can't serve drinks.
How has it taken him that long to work that out? This should have been, the first thing that happened.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they started that scene, and I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Because it's like, how could he think that this would be okay?
Maybe if he had an employment that was absolutely nothing to do with the Ton. But he literally serves them.
Yeah.
Like a servant.
Mm-hmm.
How did he think, what?
I mean, if he owned it and somebody else did all of the grunt work...
That's got to be what's happening when he's off at a ball, though. He's got
Right.
employees, and he's probably just one of those, guys that...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Micromanagers, and everybody just...
It
doesn't make any
I don't know,
sense
yeah.
that I'm
And
supposed
it's
to care about this either.
Yeah, and I don't know where they're going to go with this. Are they going to, give all the money back? No.
No, so just give up the fucking bar and move on. I don't care.
Seriously.
I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel sad about it, feel sad. I don't care. What are you going to do? Give the money back and not have your son have a title? No. Give up the bar. Shut up.
Yep.
Just suck it up.
Yeah.
I don't care about this.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think I could say about a good 15-minute chunk of the episode. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care.
Oh man. Yeah. I'm feeling that. Feeling that pretty hard. So
okay.
Yeah. Too many.
Favorite scenes.
Too many notes.
Favorite scenes. Yeah, look. Too many notes.
Too many notes. The scene where we have Lord Debling and Cressida and Penelope getting into a discussion about who loves Nate more. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
I too love nature.
Yes.
Just love it.
And it's grass. It's green. Wow.
It is really green to get it.
Yeah.
You got to give it that.
Yep. I think the scene with Colin and Penelope under the tree, just swimming in uncomfortableness that has come up in their relationship at this point. I thought they navigated that scene well, and just seeing, Colin at the end of each one of these encounters he has with Penelope, just looking more and more annoyed and angry at himself. So yeah, I loved it. How about you?
Do you not? Well, look, his wig ruined that scene for me. That was all I was looking at. But let's move on. My favourite scene was, of course, Franny and Mystery Man, because I think that's a Franny stan. I've been like holding my breath for ages. Like, what are they doing? When is she gonna meet him? And then it happened in the most magical way. And I was like, this is everything.
Yes.
I am so happy. It lasted like 20 seconds, and then I was back watching Benedict dance with some woman. So, let me just bask in the glow.
No, that was lovely. That was so sweet.
I feel like that's like classic season 1 Bridgerton. You know that scene where their hands reach out for each other in the gallery? Like, it reminds me of some of those moments that are more like traditional period dramas.
Yes.
Like, everything else was so hijinksy and big and ostentatious, and then we just got a moment where people were quiet, and I was like, thank fucking God, I needed the quiet as well.
No, that was delicious. Totally agree with you on that. How about least favorite?
I think there has to be balloon scene. Surely it was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The whole balloon sequence thing was just like, oh my God, here we go again.
It was bad at every point. The writing was bad. The production was like something out of a children's movie, like in terms of like, it was like a circus had come to town. The direction, the editing, the overly dramatic music, Nicola doing her very dramatic heavy breathing as if she'd just been attacked. Everything came together to suck.
Yeah.
It just sucked. The whole thing was bad.
Yeah.
I am Kendrick Lamar. I am a hater, and I did not like it.
Yeah, it was just, I found myself just being disappointed in the whole scene. That we were going there, even that it was like, as I said, when I was watching the episode, and the first instant I saw a balloon, I was just like, here we go. And so I was completely biased on the fact that this thing was going to suck, and it sucked. So
it's just blue.
Just awful.
That was a pun. That was a great pun. You should blue.
Yeah.
Your pun is bad.
Oh God. Well, it's time for wig talk.
Can we wig talk?
We're talking wigs, baby.
Can we wig talk?
Wigs, baby.
Talk about wigs growing.
Wig talk.
Okay, so important wig talk news. We've been avoiding talking about the wig in the room. Let's talk about Colin.
Yeah.
I hate it with the power of 1,000 burning suns.
It looks like it is some kind of gerbil or something that they've stuck on his head. Some furry mammal thing that they've got up there, and it just looks ridiculous.
Why is it so flat? In all the scenes with his real hair, they're trying to add volume, and then they're like, he's in a wig, let's make it flat as fuck. What? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, and this is not the first time that they have done this to someone who has magnificent hair.
I can only imagine that Luke cut his hair between filming, and
it wasn't quite up to fluffy snuff.
I imagine that they had to do some reshoots because remember the clusterfuck.
Yes.
So this is probably reshoots. And like with Penelope, you can just stick Nicola back in a wig again and be like, yeah, she looks the same. But obviously, I think Luke did a play or something. Maybe they did reshoots and they were like, oh shit, his hair's different. Quick, stick a wig on him. It's obviously not as simple as that. It's very jarring.
I was going to say, and no one will notice.
Everyone
said
noticed.
No one
we
ever.
All hated it. We all hated it. I think we were all angry. No, thank you.
Yeah, it was awful. The other thing, you showed me a picture You showed me a picture of Penelope, and
It was on our
want...
Instagram for everybody who enjoys looking at crime scenes.
Yes, this was a murder of a hairline, if there ever was one. It was horrible.
It was not great from the front, but they got away with it. It was whenever she was in profile. Where, it looked like she had premature balding.
Yeah, she had a 6 head.
Maybe bordering on a 7. I think it might be 7.
Yeah, it was shameful.
Because you have a natural curve to your forehead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the hair started after the curve had finished.
Oh, yes.
So
it was onto the flat. It was onto the flat.
It was scary to look at, to be honest.
It was just criminal. And you would think,
reminder, they won an Emmy for wigs.
Was everybody else sleeping that year? Like, did everybody else just do absolutely nothing with wigs?
There was no other shows.
Yeah, they really need to step things up a bit.
Do they have eyes? Is the question. Because
if we
can see it, why can't they?
Why can't they see it? And honestly, how difficult would it be for the hairline to come down? I mean, Nicola does have a high forehead, but it's not that high. It's not that high. It does not look like it is that ridiculously high. Why can't they bring that bad boy down like an inch? I don't think
I've ever seen it that high before. This might be a season 3 problem. We need to keep our eye on this because, I think something happens when they become leads where their hair just comes off. Everybody goes on about, it's their season, they get a glow up. Do they? Because I think some of the side characters look better. Mm-hmm. The hair just, when you have too much attention on you, people fuck up on your face.
And it's a damn shame. They really, I hope that we have some lovely moments to look forward to in this episode, that will hopefully make up for some of the badness that happened in this one. But, they got some damn work to do.
Episode.
I do too. But, Lord, help us all. That was, girl.
Thing is, when I saw it, I was like, am I seeing things? I need to confirm this with another person because I didn't want to believe. Because so far, to be fair, her hair has been really good in all the previous episodes.
Yeah.
So I don't know how did this happen. This is such a pivotal scene. And they were like, let's lay the wig way back.
Really? Nothing to see here. It's all good. Oh, my God. Really? Yeah, it was, that was just a damn shame. Let's see. Well, when it comes to costumes this week, I thought that they did kind of okay. Yeah, I mean, we have Mrs. Mondrish who,
Oh, that was a sleigh.
Oh, and I loved the slow pan of the camera as it moved from her feet all the way up to up to her top, and it was just like,
slay.
Yes, queen.
Leg slay.
Yes.
Body slay. Baby
Yes.
slay.
Everything
Head
slay.
Slay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's always been cute though, so it's like it's like they're like glow up, but is it really? Because she was pulling off some of those working class looks.
Seriously, but yeah, she looked beautiful, and so did he. I mean, they both looked just
they're very attractive people wearing attractive clothes.
Yes, but it's nice to see them looking so attractive. But I think I am loving the costumes that they're putting Penelope in this season. The color palette is so perfect for her. And I love the scene. Yeah, the scene where Eloise goes over to the Featheringtons to apologize to Penelope. And you see both of them in the same room. They're both wearing shades of Bridgerton blue, and it looks beautiful on both of them. I mean, Eloise's costume in that scene I thought was really pretty. Especially given some of the wacky costumes she's had in previous seasons. She's really looking lovely.
I think Cressida's giving her good fashion advice this year, except for all that. There was a bit of like a piece thing in this episode one I didn't like, but mostly she's been looking cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My
main for the ball though, we need to discuss something that has happened to the overall vibes with the background actors, because usually we talk about like, the main characters and we're like, oh, they look good, and the main characters usually do look really good, but they've got new costumers for season 3, and what they have done with the ton is made everyone, I think, a little bit more avant-garde and high fashion. And that explains Cressida's sleeves a little bit.
Oh my God!
It doesn't really explain the weird neck thing. She looked like she was wearing a neck brace. She's fallen and she's had an accident. She's suing someone or something.
It's a neck. Yeah. It's a neck muff. To continue the muff theme for this season.
Yeah, but I feel like the background actors are all wearing these really ostentatious high fashion looks compared to like season 1 and 2 where they were a lot more simple, because there was this thing that used to happen where at a ball everyone would look really elegant, and then the Featheringtons would walk in and you'd be like, oh my God, what the fuck are they wearing? Because they were so over the top. Now what's happening is that the Featheringtons look like everyone else. Or everyone else looks like the Featheringtons. So when they walk into a scene, they kind of blend into the outrageousness of everyone looks so overdressed. And I think that's sort of I think they realised everyone loves the fashion of the show, so they've gone, let's go all in with these really outrageous fashion looks. But what they're losing is the characterization behind those fashion looks, which I think is much more important. You need some people to just blend into the background.
Yeah.
But everything's fighting for attention, and in the ball scenes, like, I don't know where to look. It's too much.
Yeah. No.
I'm complaining so much this episode, but I feel like I really felt it. Like I was like, I don't know where I'm looking at.
Well, it's we don't need everybody looking like the Featheringtons, because they're their own shtick,
It kind of just defeats the point of having the Featheringtons be the Featheringtons if Cressida Cowper is going to dress like that.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty insane. I mean, there was one of the outfits that she was wearing had like a bunch of, was it like black and white? Like it almost looked like black and white sticks. I mean, it was just really.
The sleeves have sleeves at this point. Like,
it's like, what are we trying to do? And if they're trying to get this woman a husband, I mean, are you gonna take a look at her wardrobe and think, do you mean I have to pay for this shit for the rest of our lives?
When her mother said, oh, we might have to rewear these dresses, I was like, oh, you don't want to rewear that dress? That's not a good...
No.
Because some season 1 dresses, those were more normal.
Yeah. These are not dresses that, you could ever in your wildest dreams get away with wearing twice and not have people talk shit about you. Because
wear it once and people are talking
shit about you. Yes, exactly. Oof, not good.
Yeah, I do strongly feel like characterization is getting lost.
Yeah.
They are just going, let's make everyone look amazing. And it's like, no, that's not the point of costuming.
No.
It's supposed to aid the story.
Everything is supposed to serve the purpose of moving the story forward. And, let's not get bogged down by all of the crazy.
The fucking sleeves. Stupid sleeves.
We have issues with the damn sleeves, people.
Oh, how is she getting through doorways? I thought, I really like Colin's costumes this season, especially his waistcoats, but his outfit for the balloon rescue, he looked a bit like he was a circus performer. It was very like
he
Lazy
did look.
Town.
It did kind of remind me of, you know, who's the. I haven't been to a circus in so long. The ringmaster. Yeah, the ringmaster. Yeah, very ringmastery.
It was. Yeah. No, thank you.
Not good. Not good.
He looked when he was in his little his costume for the ball. I was like, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. You look good. Let's never do that again, please.
Yeah. You brought your A game. Very, very good. Oh my gosh. Needle drop moment. We had a couple.
Yeah, there were 2 songs. We had Cheap Thrills, iconic, especially to introduce a ball that had so much opulent wealth on display, you know.
Yes.
Love cheap thrills. So cheap. And then, my favourite was the cover of Happier Than Ever, when the strings start in that scene. Oh, the drama. I thought it was a great choice. I mean, it's an interesting song conceptually because it implies Penelope is feeling like, fuck you, Colin, I'm gonna get with this other guy.
Exactly. She's like, you know
what, I'm done waiting around for you to say things.
Exactly. It's like, okay.
I don't think that's really what's going on. I think she's like desperate for him to finish his sentence. But it's
seriously, it's like, okay, and you're what? Never mind. Okay.
Nothing? Okay, still nothing?
All right.
Let's go then.
Okay, bye.
There's only so long you can wait for someone to finish a sentence before you just think they've forgotten what they're saying.
For real. And Colin, you better wake up and remember what you are needing to say to her before she is no longer available. Because Lord Debling's a catch.
There was never going to be a universe where Penelope wouldn't drop Lord Debling at the first sight of interest from Colin.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. I mean, once Colin
Lord
makes
Debling would be down on one knee, be like, please marry me. And Colin's just like, Penelope. And she's like, bye.
Bye. Excuse
Colin
me.
smiled at me.
Yeah, it's gonna. I can't wait to watch this next episode. I really can't.
Look, I hear there's no balloons, so
well,
it's gotta be better.
It's gotta be better. No balloons.
Right?
Thank you.
Performer of the episode.
God, I wish I enjoyed Penelope because we got to see her not just being the wallflower, not just being in Colin's thrall. We got to see her engaging with this really delightful male character who really appreciated her. And so we're starting to see how her kind of self-deprecating humor and wit and charm, how that is an attractive thing for the fellas. If they take time to get to know her, they would see that there's much more to Penelope Featherington. But yeah, I thought that she was my favorite.
Yeah, she was delightful.
Yeah,
very funny. I love grass line.
I love
through in my head.
Oh God, yeah, I enjoyed her. How about you? Same? Or
yeah, I would say Nicola. Obviously, I feel like choosing Nicola is really obvious. Every week we're like Nicola. I think maybe Nicola, but also a shout out to whoever plays Franny's love interest.
Oh yeah,
his name I will not. Because if you think about it, he was there for like maybe 10 seconds, and it was just like, boom, charming.
Yes. Yep.
Impact. Like, it's very hard to make such an impact in such a short
amount of time. Yeah. And if Portia had any more time on screen,
It would be,
she would,
oh my God.
she would have my heart every day. Oh
She
God, I
said the
love
word
her.
no
Yes!
in a way that was so
Yes!
delightful that I've
Yes!
made into a meme.
No.
May I introduce? No.
No.
The way she smiled as well. She
Yes.
was like, no.
Oh my God, I love
kills
her
me.
so much. Love her so much.
Again, I would, like, if she was a cult leader, I would join that cult. I would. She'd be like, drink this green smoothie. Yes, leader. I love you. Please tell me no again.
No. No.
How many B's out of 5?
I'm gonna give this one 3.5.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving it a 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was very angry about the balloon.
Okay, I may not have been that raged about.
You weren't angry because you didn't have to watch it as many times as I
Well,
did. It
that
got worse.
is true. That is true.
It got worse on rewatch. Rewatches where I also found that hairline thing.
Oh.
First time through, I thought this was okay.
Yeah.
The more I watched it, the worse it got. To be
Yeah.
honest, I'm scared to watch it one more time because I
Don't
may
do it.
just hate it.
Just don't
Yeah.
do it. Don't do it.
Just watch the pollen scenes, really.
Yes.
'Cause everything
Yes.
else-
Yes. Okay. So, time for Can You Believe It?
Candle, corset, perfume, pen, tote bag, pajamas, tea bag, macaroons, bulky toys, wedding dresses, medicine, teapot, high heels, coffee creamer, quiche, soap.
So the rules of this feature are the same as ever and very simple. I will describe 2 Bridgerton products that are available to buy, and then you will try and guess which one you think is real. And bear in mind, every day, new shit is just being pumped onto the market for our consumption.
No. Okay.
Literally. Okay, so this week we have Bridgerton sunscreen or Bridgerton dog lead.
I'm going to be traumatized either way. I'm going to go with sunscreen.
Roll of a fake drum, please. Fake drum. The answer is the Bridgerton dog lead. Not only does it come with a dog lead, it comes with a little bag for the poop bags, and a little harness for the little Newton in your life.
Oh.
But the sunscreen is not far from being true because I follow
Really?
a bunch of cosmetic companies. Some of them are being used on the Bridgerton film set, obviously, and they were like, get Penelope's skin. So it's not technically merch, but they were like posting about how like if this is Nicola Coughlin's skin routine, and obviously it includes sunscreen. So even if you're not actually like doing merch deals, they are like brand partners with productions. I think that's also why we've got Milano Blahnik. Is that how you pronounce that? We've got Milano Blahnik shoes in the show, even though it makes no fucking sense.
Because they look just like the shoes that they had back then.
Do they shit?
I laughed uproariously when I was watching that YouTube video of the costumes and stuff on Bridgerton.
They're so full of shit. They're doing that because they're getting paid by that company.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Could you mention that you're using our brand shoes, please, even though it makes no fucking sense? And they were like, yeah, okay, because our dresses are long. It won't really make much difference to us.
Right.
You know?
Right. You may see the very teeny tiny tip of a toe. But, because anybody that is serious about period romance will immediately call you out on that shit. Be like, nope, step back.
The whole, like, they keep saying things about, like, oh, the silhouette's the same. We're just changing the fabrics
like
and the
the fabric
colours. It's like, it's not even, no, the silhouette's not the same. You keep doing a lot of drop waist dresses, like, fuck off.
Oh man.
People will say anything, and they just expect us to eat it up because look. I will watch your show, but you will not have me believe things that aren't true. Okay, you can do what you want with your costumes, but I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that it's historically accurate. Okay?
Yeah.
Just say because you liked it.
We not fools, people. Oh gosh. Well, for those of you that aren't following us on Instagram, you missed a treat.
You should.
You missed a treat because before we started watching the show, Flonase reached out to us, if you can believe it. Flonase, the stuff that you use, if you've got like stuffy nose action happening.
Maybe they really wanted to give them to me because I always have nasal congestion problems. They were like, I've been listening to this podcast and this girl needs our help.
She needs our help, but they weren't able to send it international, I'm guessing, and so Rita.
Yeah, obviously because there's medication.
Yeah.
Probably not legal in the EU.
Well, it's over the counter here, so that didn't even occur to me that it would be problematic in that regard. So Rita gave them my address, and I have to say on Friday, dude,
have you tried
I think
the
it was
medication?
Friday. No, I haven't. My partner, who is one that has pretty significant allergies, she has been experiencing no issues lately. So we're going to save it until she needs it. And as soon as she uses it, y'all will be the first to know.
Review.
Yes, be the first to know. But on Friday, I get this package that I wasn't expecting because, menopause brain. And so I get it and I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the hell? Where did this come from? And so I start to open it, and then I see this paper on it that says Team Pollen on it. I'm like, oh, this is the box. At which point I frantically picked up my phone and began to do my very first unboxing, which, if you watch the video, it's clear that it's my first unboxing because it's a hot mess. It's a hot mess.
Usually you see unboxing videos and it's also like crisp and like, look at this beautiful, and you're like dropping the fucking phone.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, oh,
it's like Team
Pollen. Oh geez, I'm upside down. Okay, wait a second. And anyway,
you got so excited.
Oh, it was really, really fun. And, there was a sweatshirt, hooded sweatshirt that says Team Pollen on the front, and it's got a lovely picture of flowers on the back. Not my size, unfortunately, but we do have photos of it, and it's very cute. I would send it to Rita. But she's in the middle of a heat wave right now, and I think the thought of a hooded sweatshirt
it makes me want to be sick right now.
Right.
Like I'm so hot.
Yeah. So anyhow, but it had the sweatshirt, it had the Flonase, of course. It had a little hanky that says Team Pollen on it. There's a little mirror compact that says Team Pollen on it. And then there is a book that is all about, how to entertain and, basically dazzle the ton. So we may be reading some excerpts from that as we get further on into the series. And then there was
cocktail recipes would be appreciated.
Okay.
I'm down to get drunk.
I will check it out and let you know. And then there was a little mini picnic basket, which does not look anything like the $11 billion ones that you can get from Williams-Sonoma.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking like they could have hooked us up with the Williams-Sonoma one.
Yeah, but it has.
They don't got that much money.
Yeah, it has basically what's inside of it is a little insulated drinks carrier, so you could put a insulated like cold pack in there and keep your beverages nice and cool. So that's nice. But
good for a picnic. And you got the blanket and the
and
pillow
a little
for
blanket,
a picnic.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But all in all, a really delightful PR package. Thank you so much, Flonase.
I love that our first.
It was great.
PR, well, no, we got. To be fair, we did get sent. I got sent the.
We got some stuff for
Bridgerton
Poldark
guide for free.
Yeah, and we got
we got
a couple books for Poldark. But this was like the first like PR package that we have ever received. So thank you so much for thinking of us. And hey, if anybody else wants to send us your PR packages, we up for it. So
the way we've been making fun of everything that Bridgerton has.
Yeah, that might kind of shot us in the foot for receiving any more PR packages.
Damn us on our principles.
I know.
I know. I regret nothing.
We are not suck ups. Thank you very much.
Do I really want all of the weird William Simona things? And they're like, oh, no. It's just shit that you don't need in your life. Don't buy these fucking things, people. And you most certainly should not be buying the coffee creamer.
Yeah, no. That stuff is frickin' poison, so don't even drink it.
Don't do it to yourself, okay? We're looking out for your wallet, your health, and the planet. At least with Flonase, it's like an... If you have allergies, you need that shit.
You might very well benefit from it. So anyway,
you cannot benefit from a candle that smells like a Bridgerton library.
No,
or study. I don't really know.
Yeah, which I still need to go and sniff so I can give you the the 411. I will.
Michele influencer in the wild.
Okay,
when you spray things and smell them and be like, this smells like nothing. Probably
gosh.
90% water at this point.
Oh my gosh. Well, stay tuned. I'll make my way over to Bath and Body Works and see what they've got cooking over there. And thank you to everyone who has written in this week. You can hear us reading out your emails on our sister pod, Letters to the Editor, which will be dropping soon for subscribers on Spotify. Spotify. It's on Spotify. That is also where we do our predictions for the next episode, which is always a good time.
It is. I mean, and also accurate so far.
Oh yeah.
Between you and me, baby, we got this show covered. You don't need to watch the episodes.
Yep, we're knocking it out of the park.
We know what's coming. Okay, that's all from us this time. We'll be back recapping and discussing episode 4 of the season next week. I don't know why I got so confusing. I was like, "There's not season 4." Okay, that's we've been podcasting too long. We will be back recapping and discussing episode 4 of the season next week. We will finally be caught up. In the meantime, please follow us on Instagram for updates and subscribe to our bonus podcast. Do it. If you enjoyed this pod, please share, rate, and review, and we hope you have a lovely week. Stay away from hot air balloons.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.